Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to Drop Dad Podcast. This week we have a guest. His name is...
My name's Brandon.
Brandon.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Brandon.
you. We know Brandon very well. He's the director on our other show, the Doom Vision podcast.
I was
Check it
going to
out.
mention that too.
Yeah. He is my sister's husband, so he is my brother-in-law.
That's what they call it.
So for anybody that is, I'm sorry, Kevin. Do you want me?
Oh, no,
Okay,
go ahead.
right.
Go, please.
Yeah. So for anybody that watches the Doom Vision podcast, since season 2, Brandon has been behind the camera the entire time, working all of our equipment, making us sound and look sexy, and more impressively, his wife is the one that makes all the props. So I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
but you've heard us talk about him in the debrief and talk to him in the debrief, but now you get to see him in the flesh. So welcome, Brandon, to the show.
And we especially wanted Brandon on because he has the unique perspective of being a stepfather. And Troy is also a stepfather. I am not. I am what's known as a day walker. I can go out in the sun, but I'm not restricted to nightclubs with vampires like yourselves. So,
Yeah.
My wife has a thing for vampires.
Oh, really? Yeah. She liked
She-
Blade. What do you think? You like Blade juice?
Did we talk about this on this podcast already? A little bit. It's werewolves and vampires.
Werewolves? Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause She
Just
That's
underworld.
my smut.
she likes
Yeah,
to
it's
smut.
I like the
yeah.
fantasy smut.
True Blood, and anyway, we got off on a tangent. But so, Brandon, you have a unique perspective of you married my sister Melanie at some point. You dated and married, all that
He's
stuff.
doinking your sister.
Yeah, I am.
Good luck, have fun.
Yeah.
So you inherit. What's the word? Adopt. I don't know. What's the word? You talk. What is it?
I don't actually know what the
You
term
got
is. 'Cause-
smished with some children.
Yeah, I went straight from being a bachelor to a nuclear family. There
Yes.
was no in between.
Yeah, whatever that's called, because
Yeah.
there's no it's not like an official adoption, right? I don't
No,
think so.
you.
Okay, I didn't
as
think
a
so.
step parent, I'm not allowed to adopt unless the actual biological father is out of the picture for at least 6 months. And there's some other requirements and stuff for it.
See, this is exact. I have no idea. I have honestly had
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah, let's get deep into that because I'm actually adopted, so we can talk about some of that. But let's drink our beer.
Maybe you
I'm
guys are
thirsty.
the day walkers, and I'm the full-blooded vampire.
Yeah, you were the freak here,
are
Kevin.
I'm the freak.
We are the modern family, and you are the traditional marriage.
Daywalker. You guys have to wear sunscreen. All right. So the beer of the week. Beer of the week is Bayern's Doppelbock. And I insulted Troy earlier. I said, "Have you even had a Doppelbock?" And he was like, "Yeah, I have." And so I've been trying to bring beers that I drink that I don't think Troy has had, but he says he's a beer connoisseur. I'm gonna find the wackiest, weirdest, shittiest beer out there, and I'm gonna bring it and be like, "Have you had this?" And find out if you have. So
And you'll find one because I find a beer that I like and I stick to it. Right.
Yeah.
My throat's a little sore from the pickle that we did in the last episode.
Hot pickles.
No, I drink a lot of beer.
Yeah.
I like tasting beer. I like one of my favorite beers, and while we're on the beer, is a beer that I found in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Ooh. All right. Go on.
Called Miller Lite.
It is
Yeah.
not Miller Lite. It is a beer, and I am not joking. The beer is called Harry Balls. It
Seems like something you'd be into.
Brandon, I don't appreciate you putting my secrets out on the internet like this.
It's not a secret. We've
You're
all
right.
seen your search history.
You're
You
right.
showed it to us.
Hey guys, you seen this? But anyway, Harry Balls is named actually after a former mayor of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Okay.
And that's how they named it. So it's Harry, Harry, Balls, Baals. But it's a really good beer.
What was his name? Was it Harry Balls?
His name was Harry Balls.
See, that's crazy because, a lot of the things that are named, this is just a dumb example, but the zipper, you'd think it was called, but it's named after Henry Zipper, a lot of names like that where you're like, oh no, must be an old Greek word or something like that. But no, it's the guy's name is just ketchup or whatever,
Zipper is Greek for it clings together.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Okay. Well, I'm a bad person. I only brought 2 of these bad boys, so we're splitting them 3
Well,
ways.
in all fairness, in previous episodes, it was just you and me, and now we have guests.
Yeah.
We've grown.
Yeah, and usually, and I say that I try, I make an attempt, but most of the time, like to bring a beer that you haven't tried. It's mostly to get rid of the 1s and 2s in my fridge that I'm like, oh man, I gotta clear out my fridge.
I can understand that. I keep specific beer in my fridge for your wife that I don't like to drink.
Yeah,
So
I drink
beer.
I usually drink them.
I'm never going to drink this stuff, but someone will eventually.
Thank you, sir.
Now, Doppelbock has a very nice place in my heart because once we discovered it, we drank it for like an entire winter. Probably put on about 40 pounds worth of straight beer weight because this is a loaf of bread in a bottle. I think a bottle of this is like 250 calories or something. So
this is very counterproductive. My wife and I started, well, at the time this podcast airs, a few weeks ago, started working out again. And it's not something, I have not been in a gym lifting weights for the better part of a decade, if not more. And we've also tried to like kind of shift our diet a little bit. Like I'm not thick by any stretch of the imagination. When I take my shirt off, I got the dad bod, right?
I saw it earlier. Yeah.
You did.
You look good,
Yeah, you saw it. So I just want to tighten that up. But so I've been very conscientious about the choices that I'm making. Like I was eating baked chips the other day instead of regular chips, making
have 33% less fat in them.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Making those good health choices.
you dip it in cheese.
She's sitting right there. Can you fucking not put my shit out there? And then I come and do this show and we drink. I brought a heavy beer. You brought a heavy beer.
You guys drink like you're not going to work tomorrow.
My other memory with Doppelbock is I remember my brother. He one time, I'm not kidding, drank 12 of these. And
John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
geez.
because he is hardcore, or he used to be a lot more hardcore, I think, and he could pound through these Doppelbocks. And I remember I went to get up to leave, and he was so wasted he couldn't get up off the couch. He's like, "Hang on!" He rolls off the couch on the ground. He's like, "I'm coming," to like give me a hug, goodbye or whatever.
One of the amazing things about John is you do not know that man's impaired until he's way too far gone.
Yeah.
It's a switch.
Keeps it a secret up
He's
until
perfectly fine. He's perfectly fine. He's slurring his speech and can't walk anymore.
Yeah, there's no in between. You can't be like, okay, buddy, you're starting to have too much. It's like he's talking to you like he would be at like 2:00 on a Wednesday afternoon, and then all of a sudden it's 2:30 at a Saturday night a.m. And
John, what are you doing on the roof?
Yeah.
Get down from there, you madman.
Not again.
And we'll eventually have him as a guest on the show.
Yep. Yeah, I think maybe the next episode or that one
So
after.
I talked to him and I asked him like, hey, you want to come sit on our show? And he's like, yeah, my schedule's really busy. I can't plan long in advance. I'm like, you just want me to spring it on you? You want me to like surprise you and just be like, hey, come over to my house for drinks tonight? He's like, that's how you do it. That's how you get me on your show.
You
Like,
don't give
all
him the option.
Yeah. Be like, John, tonight's the night. And John has a very robust family, and we can get into that. But Brandon, we have you here tonight with your expertise in step parenting.
Yeah.
So-
that's what we'll call it.
I think for us to get a really good understanding, I'm a step parent as well. We all have a story of how we got there, right? And the story always starts with the mom. So can you, if you're comfortable, do you mind sharing kind of your story of how you met Mel and kind of what led you into becoming a stepfather? Because that's a fucking massive jump from loving a mom to becoming the dad.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I even think I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but to go into a relationship with somebody that has kids is huge because if you're doing it right, you're not just thinking about, I have to like fall in love with this woman, but I also have to fall in love with these kids and make sure I'm good there. So you just add that extra layer of stress and, that dynamic relationship there. So
I was gonna say, I think we all know of, or maybe we had some a stepdad Terry that we all hate, right? That we at some point we were like, fuck that Terry guy. That Terry guy's a piece of shit. And
he doesn't understand my poetry.
He loves the mom more than the kids, and he hates the kids. He treats them like shit, and so like he'll like beat the kids because he's just a real awful Terry.
If you didn't have that stepdad, you knew that stepdad.
Yeah, you knew of one
somebody
where you're like,
had
that guy's a real
stepdad.
prick. He's in it for the mom, and the kids he doesn't care about them. So I think to go into that and say, I know what I'm getting into. I have to be fully committed, not just half-assed. I'm in it for the lady and nothing else. Is good. It's great. It's what you should be doing. Like you're setting these rules for yourself before you go into this. It's great.
Yeah,
I think it's awesome. So
yeah. So
and Melanie's happy. I know that for a fact.
Well, that's good. I try to check in every now and then.
Yeah.
She texted me differently, but
Yeah. I'm miserable here.
I'm tired of making your props and being married to Brandon. It's just too much.
Mainly it's Brandon. No, so our relationship started out actually when she was still married to her now ex-husband. He was working with a couple of friends of mine, and they had invited him and Melanie out to come join us at karaoke that we had all done regularly at that point. And I always think it's super funny because she tells the story of that night, and we were there, and I went out to karaoke here every week. We'd go out and have a couple beers and relax and whatever. And she comes out for the first time, and I'm sitting there like saying, "Hey, how's it going?" to all these different people coming up. But I guess whenever she looked up, it was me and her like saying, "Hey, how's it going?" to another woman. And she's like, "Oh, I got to stay away from this guy. He's sketchy." Here we are.
What a weirdo.
Couple weeks away from our 8-9-year anniversary.
She was
8
right
years married.
all along.
Yeah, she had me pegged from day one. No, but so like we had that, and then we hung out a few other times. And then I actually joined the Navy and left. And after I had done that, that's when she finally ended things with her ex-husband. And so our relationship kind of grew from this place of friendship because she was one of the few people from my life here in Montana that kept in touch with me. Because like it's one of the things for being in the military is like you can keep in touch with people, but a lot of the time it's you putting that effort to get hold of them and to reach out to them and communicate and keep that relationship open. So those people that reach out to you to keep that going, those people are precious. And so yeah, we can see Jess back here nodding her head, like most people in the military know that and they recognize it. So she always had a really special place in my heart. And then I was moving from South Carolina to California because I was going from training to being stationed on a naval vessel. And I spent a couple, weeks doing that journey. And I spent about a week of it flying back up here to Montana to hang out with everybody. And she had just gone through a breakup. And so like we had like these close moments, but I'm long distance. I didn't feel like that would be right for me or for her. I was like, and so I just grappled with it really hard. And then I found out that I wasn't going to be stationed in California. I was actually going to be stationed in Hawaii, which just added even more distance to it.
Oh, you poor thing.
You say that, but it's all fun and games until you work 100+ hours a week. And it's like, yeah, there is a beach out there. I haven't seen it in days.
And they only eat spam, I've heard.
Yeah.
And the milk is $18 a gallon.
Yes. Milk was dumb expensive. But yeah, so like that distance added on extra like levels of complexity there. And I was sitting there like heeing and hawing and like, should we start a relationship? Should we not? And then eventually I was talking with one of my really good friends at the time, Alex Hoth, and he was going through this same situation of somebody he knew from back in his hometown that he really liked, and he didn't know if he should do it long term. And he said something to me that stuck where he said, I will never forgive myself for not trying. Because like I know I have a really good friend in this person and I don't want to lose it, but I'll never forgive myself for not trying to see if something more can come of it.
So What was kind of the turning point for you? And I know we're talking a lot about your relationship with
Mhm.
Mel right now, because I distinctly remember that moment where I was like, this is going to be difficult any way that I slice it with my wife, but there is nothing that would not make it worth it. Like
Mhm.
I would lose an arm to make this shit work. This is my person. So did you kind of have a similar moment with Mel?
Yeah, it was kind of that conversation because like I said, we had been friends for so long and she'd always been there for me and I'd been there for her and things like all the indicators of it being a good relationship were there.
Mhm.
I just didn't know if it would survive that long distance. And so finally going to her and saying, "Hey, I know we've talked about this a bunch, but I think that we should actually try and make something happen." And it was actually that exact conversation was on her side of it was the last time she had decided to try and make something happen with me as well. She
Oh,
had told
so
herself, "Hey, I'm going to try one more time. And if he says no again, then I'm just going to have to accept that it's not going to happen." And
so that was your last shot.
it was my
You-
last shot.
yeah,
And we
you were
both
then-
just like a lot of things. It was never easy, right? Like being 3,000 miles away from your loved ones is never easy, but there were so many things that happened at just the right time and in just the right way for us to work out. So, I always feel really blessed that anything happened.
What a like sounds like a movie like coming soon to Hallmark.
Yeah.
This Christmas.
I'm over here tearing up. That's
right?
so beautiful.
See? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
not only did the distance play a factor in that
Mhm.
coming to be story, I'm a military husband
Mhm.
as well, and military can be quite a strain on any relationship, even the healthiest of relationships. So first of all, thank you for your service.
No, thank you.
We greatly appreciate that. But did the military service, aside from being away, impact your guys' initial start? Because I imagine our start was really rocky because our start was based in the military too.
Mhm.
So not rocky. It was rocky. Like we had a lot to learn about each other and a lot to learn about the military. Did you guys kind of experience the same type of rockiness initially?
Yeah, but it was more about reestablishing boundaries as like friend versus now, significant other. And then the military didn't really affect that outside of the distance because we got really good about like we talked regularly, if not every night, then most nights, weekends we do video chats and things like that. And so we communicated as much as we could. So I don't really feel like the military, because she was so separated from me at that point, where like that was the time where I was doing a lot of the hard end of the military service, that she heard about it all the time, I'm sure, but she didn't really have to deal with it in person, like if she didn't hear from me for like a day or a couple of days in a row, that was, like the big whoop. She doesn't see me regularly anyways.
So you guys get together.
Mhm.
At that time, she had kids.
Yes, she had 2 kids, Jade and Logan, both awesome.
So I will tell you, I know a lot of step parents, and I will say, since that I have met you, that I have rarely met a stepfather that talks as highly of his children as you.
You're no
Well,
Terry.
thank you. Yeah, I'm no Terry.
You are no Terry.
All right.
We record at least once a month, and every time that you're over here, you have a story about your kids. And I know being a step parent is very difficult, and it's sometimes very murky water to navigate. But I commend you on your ability to find the positivity and being proud of your kids, even though
Yeah.
technically, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, they're my stepkids, but they are my kids. I talk about them as my kids. I don't add the word step unless I'm trying to clarify for like government paperwork or whatever, like
or this podcast.
or this
Yeah.
podcast
Yeah.
specifically because of
Yeah.
my experience.
The thing that is blowing my mind is how old are you?
How dare you?
You
Are
never
gonna ask me
ask
my
a
weight
lady.
next.
No, I think you're 2 years older than me. Is that right?
The main reason I'm frustrated over this is now I have to do math to remember how old I am.
Oh my God.
I
do a lot of rounding in my
in 3
age.
weeks.
You turned what?
34.
34.
You're younger than I am?
I know it doesn't look it, but
He's-
I am the oldest fucker in this room right now.
So he's 33 right now.
I'm 33.
How old are you? How do I not know? How old are you?
How old am I? What
see,
year
now
is
guess-
it?
It's 23.
23. I am 32.
Why am
Notice
I
how it doesn't matter anymore when you get a certain age. Like
really-
I honestly
I hit 25 and I stopped counting
April
until I hit 30.
Wait, April I will be 33. Right?
I don't fucking know.
No, 32. I was born in 91. I'll be 33.
Oh yeah, I'm
32.
a 90 baby, and I just turned 33.
Am I 31 now?
No, I'm a 90s. I'm 90.
Okay, I'm coming off of a cold. I have a brain
You're 90
fog.
years old?
No, I was born in 1990. So if
90?
you were born in
She's real
1991,
tight.
91
you're gonna
April.
be 32.
I will be 32 this coming up.
Yes.
I'm only 31. I thought I was older. I honest to God thought I was older.
You
Wait,
look old.
This is what happens when you get like up to like around the 28 mark. You
okay.
start forgetting. You
Honest
remember
to God-
30, and then the rest of it's just a blur. You
Honest
just
to
don't care
God, I
anymore.
started rounding at a certain point. When I started getting into late 20s, I went, I'm about 30-ish. And now that I'm like 30, I go, I'm about 30-ish. It's just round. And then once I get up to like past 35, I'm like, oh, close to 40-ish, I think. Like it's just easier on my life.
How old is Mel?
40-ish.
Okay, so
No, she is older than me. She's 38.
that wasn't relevant.
So-
It was
so here-
just
I just like putting that out there that I'm the young one.
Here's my point,
she's a
though.
cradle robber.
Like,
She is a cradle
Here's
robber.
the crazy point is that like my niece is turning 18 tomorrow.
Yes.
Right? And you are only 2 years older than me. So it does blow my mind a little bit that like, that we're close in age.
Mhm.
So-
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit because you're not fairly. I mean, you're close to your stepdaughter in age.
Mhm.
You've been in her life for 8-9 years now. Did that create?
Yeah. A little
Did that
longer,
create
but-
barriers, like especially through the teenage years?
Actually, I found it a lot easier because Jade being older, I was able to develop a different relationship with her than I did with Logan.
Mhm.
And it was more as peers.
Mhm.
Like there wasn't that I'm the adult, you're the kid, you have to do what I say kind of like boundaries. It was more of just like, hey, Jade, do this thing. And she's like, no. And I'm like, hey, stop being a brat. Like I could just kind of talk to her. It was easier to talk to her. But then you have Logan who, when I first was trying to build a relationship with him, he's 3-4 years old and is like all energy all the time, all stubbornness. So like, I feel like that age gap being smaller is easier to form that relationship with Jade.
So, talk to me a little bit about you're a single guy,
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote.
Never changed a diaper.
I've never changed a diaper.
Aha.
Never.
Contrast with our last guest who
I
was,
definitely got to avoid some of those things. I will admit.
you get to change Melanie's diaper soon.
Yeah. Sooner than I'd like to admit.
So you're in the Navy, living the
Mhm.
military life, visiting places and living in Hawaii. Come home.
Mhm.
Now you're dad.
Yep.
Talk to us about what that experience was. So let me start here. Did you date any girls with kids before Mel? This is really an interrogation to see
Yeah.
if you're appropriate for Mel.
Um,
She'll appreciate this interview.
I will admit that I never really like long-term dated anyone with kids. I did have a few short relationships with some moms, but I didn't really like have any long-term relationships. And a big part of that was distance and do I want to be somebody that like comes in and out of this kid's life?
Right.
Like I didn't want to just be like, oh, hey, here's this dude you're going to meet for like a week and then never see again. I didn't want that to be like a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely understand that. So you're in the Navy, you come home, you and Mel are together. She introduces you to the kids. And then eventually you become dad. How does that transition happen? What does that look like? What kind of hurdles did you face? What kind of successes did you have?
So I got lucky in a lot of it because Jade knew me before I even left for the military. Not really well. I was just a friend of her parents, but she knew me. She recognized me. And so a lot of the times when I would come back to visit, I just got to be like, kind of like the fun uncle. You see him like a couple times a year, but whenever they show up, like a bunch of fun things happen all at once. And so I kind of lucked out on that because that's what I got to be for the kids. Is whenever I was visiting to see her, it was a vacation, which that's a very different mentality than how I normally act and how I normally am. So it's a lot more like, hey, let's go out to dinner, or hey, here's this cool thing, let's go do this. Some of the most, like one of the first really extended periods of time that I got to spend with Melanie and Jade was a trip where we actually had the two of them come out to visit Hawaii with me for a couple weeks. And Logan at this point was, again, 3 or 4, and he was very into routine. And so we made the decision for him not to come with because it would not have been well for him. He would not have had a good time, and just to take him out of that comfort zone and throw a bunch of new stuff at him, it would have been really bad for him. But yeah, the two of them came out to visit and my mom came out to visit at the same time. So here I am in a hotel room with 2 queen-sized beds with my mom, my girlfriend, and her daughter. And halfway through it, Jade stops trying to convince me to ask Melanie to marry her and instead starts talking to my mom saying, wow, it'd be really cool if you were my grandma. So
tug on those heartstrings real quick.
Pure manipulation, and I was there for it.
I'm actually proud of Jade. Like,
that
done.
was good.
Yeah,
she was like 10, 11 at the time, I think, maybe. Yeah, but like I said, I lucked out that they both knew and liked me, and then I just kind of got to build a relationship from there. I didn't have to deal with you're this weird dude, I don't like you. So.
And Kevin, I'm sorry, I've been kind of like
driving
the conversation, but
your questions are better than I would come up with. I would just be like, so anyway, how's it going? Let's talk about games, video games. Like,
I think it's a really interesting dynamic because we have really the whole spectrum of parenthood sitting on these couches tonight. We have
the step parent, the blended family,
yeah. And I was
purists.
I'm not trying to be I wasn't trying to be offensive there, but like, no kids, but step kids. We have traditional family, and then we have me, who has my kids, who also go to their other parents' house, and step kids. So it's very interesting, and I'd like to talk to other step parents because it's real interesting and every dynamic is different.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that I've had 2 opportunities to be a step parent. And unfortunately one of them didn't work out, but I still stay in contact with my other 2 step kids. They call me Uncle Troy now rather than, they just called me Troy then, but I'm close with their dad. I'm close with their stepmom. So there's special bonds that you build with each individual kid.
Mm-hmm.
And part of my hesitation towards leaving the former relationship, and it wasn't a healthy relationship for me, but the kids are really impactful because like you said, you didn't want to be the dad or the guy that came in and out of kids' life. I stayed in a relationship way longer than I should have because of kids, which is also not healthy. I don't recommend it. If you're not in a healthy relationship, don't be in a healthy relationship. But those kids definitely make things difficult because as much as you love their mom or as much as you're in deep with their mom, I mean, you have to love 2 other people at the same time or 3 or 4 or however many of the kids there are. So I just think this dynamic is interesting, and I think it's probably really interesting for you, Kevin, because this isn't your life, and it's never like this is not your purview. Like you might hear it from Brandon or me occasionally, but like we have yet.
It's not his purview yet.
Jess has been ready to leave him for a while because he's in love with me.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true.
So from your perspective as a full-time dad, can you see any benefits to being a step parent or any significant drawbacks to being a step parent?
I think it's if you don't have the, and I think Brandon has done a really good job, but if you don't have like the beginning relationship, your relationship isn't lessened or weakened or anything like that. It's just different.
Mm-hmm.
So to be like in the hospital with my kids from birth, to be there from the very, very beginning, it's like, it's a different relationship. It's like and to have them be biologically mine, it's different, slightly different. You don't love, I'm sure that you love your kids just as much as I love my kids, and you love your kids just as much as, we all love our kids as much as possible. Your relationship is just slightly different because, they have their biological dad that they go to on a weekly basis. They have, and you guys all split, and, but it's it's healthy. It can be, it has become healthier. Whereas like years ago, it probably wasn't. It was just like, oh man, they're split. What's going on? And the definition of what a family has changed drastically. Just go watch like Modern Family, that's, that's 100% true. It's the Modern Family. I think our goal should be to get as many different kinds of dads as we can. Let's get 2 dads on this couch. Let's get like, let's get a Terry in here. He's a real piece of shit, straight out of jail.
I'm right here,
Straight from your wife's work.
So, I'm deciding how I want to word this. So I love being a step parent.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't love is
the kids.
the title of being a step parent. So I will tell you, I am a step parent to 2 amazing young men. Like my stepsons are, I don't know how I survived my life without them, because they each bring like a piece to me that I really needed at the time that I needed. The most frustrating thing about parenting them is that I don't see myself when I'm parenting them. So my kids, my biological kids, I see them do shit, and it's me, and it's frustrating to me, but I can't be mad about it because it's me. You know what I mean? Like, yep, I did that. I get it. The hard thing for me is being empathetic to their dad, because when I see their dad in them, it's tough for me to go, that's not me. How do I navigate that as a parent? Do you experience that a little bit?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
And I see it more often when I'm comparing Melanie's parenting style and my parenting style.
Are they vastly different?
Yes.
Yeah.
She is very much like, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. So why, like, it's not a problem. So why worry about it?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very much hey, here's the rule. This is a line in the sand. And if you cross this, I will end you. Like here
That's
a couple days.
military thing.
Yeah, that is very much a military
thing. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Oh, are you?
Like here the other day, actually, funny story time. Logan, it's 9:30 bedtime for Logan, and I look at him and go, "All right, kiddo, it's 9:30, time to go to bed." And he looks up and he goes, "Actually, it's 9:29." And I'm like, "You can either get up and go to bed now, or I can turn your little pee-pee from an Audi into an innie." He's like, and he got on, like he's like, "Actually, it's 9:29. I don't have to go to bed yet." And he like starts walking away, and I get up off the couch to chase him, and he goes, and then runs away. Like we all had a blast, but just like little things like that where, bedtime's like a very easy example for me to go to because I'm like, bedtime is 9:30. All right, you should be ready, teeth brushed, in bed at 9:30, falling asleep or starting to fall asleep. And Melanie's like, we can give him an extra half hour tonight. And I'm like, well, why? She's like, well, it's a special occasion. I'm like, yeah, but so was last night, apparently. And the night before that, and the night before that, so it's like, it's little things like that. And then she, like you said, she gets those moments where she sees herself in the kids.
Mhm.
And I don't see those moments. I don't see myself in them. I see Melanie or I see their dad, and kind of navigating that a little bit, like you said, it can be tricky sometimes, but
I think having drastically contrasting parenting styles, it can make for a tumultuous household, but also sometimes it can make for a pretty cool one, not a bad one. Because not to say like the kids will be like, well, I'm just gonna go ask mom because she'll let me do it, but like you get two different parenting styles that can make for an okay, or not an okay, but a good dynamic or a household like experience. With Jess and I, we are very similar, and then we correct each other. We go like, I don't know if we should have done that. I don't know if I was listening to you and I respect your decision, but I think that what you did there was maybe we went a little too hard, or maybe we need to talk to the kid about whatever, something, and we have like really long conversations about it. So we're more closely aligned, but like when we do differ, we talk about it, to a point where we make a decision and we go, okay, that's a perfect decision. We both agree. Now let's parent the kids together.
Communication, like any relationship, that's key.
It is. Regardless if it's a blended family or, we're talking shit about traditional families.
Daywalker.
Yeah. But I agree wholly. Oftentimes my Jess and I differ on disciplinary strategy. I came from a relationship where I was the disciplinary 100% of the time, and the other parent was the happy fun time parent. Well, the kids don't want to spend time with the disciplinary because you have to be the one to establish boundaries. And I firmly believe that those boundaries have to be set to create a well-adjusted adult.
But they don't have to be like super strict, but there has to be a line somewhere.
There does. And we're going through that with our teenager now, and he's on the brink of teenagerhood. He's a preteen. He's 12. And I'm going to share this story, but recently, some kid tried to sell him drugs at school.
Oh,
Oh shit! What kind of drugs?
Weed.
Oregano?
Oh, okay.
Weed. Might have been oregano, but
Weed's legal here.
not for kids.
Yeah, not for children, Kevin. Jesus
I was like,
Christ.
it's probably easier to get.
Are you just sitting there on the weekend looking at your toddler going, here, you want a puff?
Just tell him to get in a trench coat and walk into the store.
But just to show the difference in parenting style is, I heard this story and giggled because I thought it was funny.
Kind of funny.
My wife was destroyed by this story and really upset because of the emotional pressure that it put. So my wife is an empath. I am not an empath. I am very much logical, right? But it caused him a lot of stress, and navigating that with a stepkid has been very difficult. But I would say that we came out stronger because of both my wife and I's communication through that time. We presented a unified effort towards him. Like, this is our position as a family. This is where we are. One of the things was he didn't want to go to school because people found out that he had said to the principal that this kid tried to sell him drugs. And so they were like, well, we're going to kick his ass. And my wife's and mine unified front was
give him brass knuckles.
You cannot let bullies scare you away from shit. You show up, if the kid lays hands on you, different fucking story. But talk is fucking cheap. You don't let that deter you from doing what you're supposed to do. And while we had a very robust conversation and differing opinions throughout it, we came to a consensus. And so, just as you said, Brandon, communication is really the most important part of parenting.
And relationships in general.
Relationships,
any
in
relationship,
general.
friendship with your spouse, with your kids, like that's the thing that's going to keep it going and keep it strong.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had to do. It wasn't drugs, but my oldest daughter was.
God, I hope not. Her and your daughter and my son go to the same school. Who's selling drugs?
Yeah, she was selling.
Was it my kid?
So she had this kid who was just being a little shithead to her. Every time he saw her, he was just like accusing her of like cheating at wall ball or just being a fucking little shit, right? Because I was just like, you know what? He's just a baby, you know. Like I was just being like that dad who was
crush
like,
on her.
Yeah, he had a crush on her.
I don't know about this because some of the stories she was telling me was like he was just treating her like garbage for
Did he
like
pull her hair?
No, but he was like she would like she was working on a computer or whatever, and she just happened to look over, and he immediately was like, "Watch your own people," you know, like, and so we had to like have a discussion. I told my wife about it, and she was like, yeah, okay, well, and it had gone on. I'd heard enough stories where I was like, Jess, next parent teacher conference, we're talking to. Because she came home one day crying because she was like, I'm never gonna play wall ball again because this kid accused me of cheating and shit. And so I was like, no, okay, if this kid is like bullying you and making you not want to do the things you love, she loves wall ball. She talks about it all the time. Yeah. And so we talked to her teacher about it, and she's like, you know what? This is not the first time we've had run-ins with this kid. So I was like, I'm really glad we brought that up because apparently he's a little shit ass and needs to fucking
put his name out there.
Yeah.
Oh, bleep it.
You know what? I think it might have been not your kid, but like. Oh wait, you should probably bleep it.
We're gonna have a talk with our son when he comes home.
No,
hit the censor button.
It was
Our son is an angel. He would
it
never
might
really
not have.
is.
It might not have been. It was a name that I recognized, and I was like, oh, I wonder if so and so's kid, and it wasn't. I think it may have been like I'd named one of your kids. And I was like, oh, and she's like, no, not that one.
Oh.
This guy's a little fucking asshole is what she
Wow,
wished
Claire
to say.
said that?
No.
My-
She asks me to swear. She's like, I just wanted to say, can I say the F word right now? And I'm like, no, just tell me the
Oh,
story.
yeah. We call them swear passes.
Yeah.
And so Melanie, starting at the age of 13 for Jade, would give her one swear that she could start saying a year. And, Logan's 11 and he's like, I want to swear. And we're like, no. And one time,
Cocksucker.
yeah, we were talking about different swear words and stuff, and we were going alphabetically trying to figure out a swear for each letter. And
that's a
we
fun
got
game.
we got to E, and none of us could think of anything. We're just like, what is this? Like, what could it be? And Logan pipes up and he's like, I've got one. Can I have a swear pass? And we're like, all right, yeah. Like if the kid has one that we can't think of, and he just looks at us so proud, like he knows this is real, and he's like, "E fuck." And we just all die laughing, and we're like, "All right, that was funny. You're not gonna swear again." He's like, "No, but I got another good one. Can I have a swear pass?" I was like, "No, you broke it."
I got a whole bunch of them.
So can I tell you about how nice my kid is?
How nice is he?
Thank you. Thanks for the setup. My kid invited, this is a whole nother story, but he invited his bully over to my house to hang out after school because his parents weren't home.
Wow.
So I'm at work,
That
3:00 in the afternoon. I work from home. I'm working and I hear a bunch of fucking kids roughhousing. I come out thinking it's my daughter and my son. It's my kid and this kid with the nastiest fucking mullet I've ever seen.
Ooh.
Like nasty.
He's just a stereotypical bully.
He's stereotypical bully.
straight from the 80s.
O'Doyle rules.
Exactly like that. And I pull my son in my room and I'm like, who is that? And he's like, beep. And I'm like, isn't that the kid you've been fighting with all last year? He's like, yeah, we're okay now though. Okay. But you did not ask me if you could have friends over, and I'm at work, and you guys need to shut the hell up. So he's over here hanging out, and about 45 minutes later, I get a knock at the door, and it's like someone our age, like a mom. And I'm like, oh, hey, bleep. beep is in the backyard. Him and Jackson are running around. She's like, yeah, I'm not his dad. She has a little girl standing behind her. Jackson invited her over to come play. And I'm like, oh? She's like, yeah, I'm heading to my shift at the gas station. Can she hang out for a bit? I'm like, I fucking guess. So my kid had invited 2 people over, and I had no idea about it. I could have beat his ass, but one of them was his bully that he invited over. That's how nice my fucking kid is.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
you
my
raised
kid-
a good one.
My kid thinks about ways to harm her people she doesn't like. So she not harm like physically, but like she's just like, you know what? Next time I'm gonna say this to like really get back at him. You know, or like today she was like,
Claire.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
okay.
she today she was like, man, I really wanted to just flip him the bird. Can I show you what that looks like? And I'm like, I know what the middle finger looks like. Can I just show you? I'm like, no. We're arguing in the car. I'm like,
Just
this is
let
the
her
old.
show you, Kevin.
There's like 50 kids. I'm trying not to hit 10 kids at the pickup line.
Teach her how to give him the old triple finger.
I'm sure.
read between the lines.
Oh, you
Claire
got-
picks up after her mom.
The triple finger.
She is incredibly like she's got like heart, and like
Mhm.
she has a big heart for people that she likes, and her and like a Grinch heart for people where she's just like, I hope you fucking die, you know, and like she gets that from her mom and me a little bit, you know, because I only like people I like, and if I don't like people, I don't like them.
But the people you like, so you and my wife are the same a lot like this.
We look a lot alike too.
Yeah.
Why do you
It's
think
the
I
same
say
build.
that?
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
But my wife is hot or cold. There's no in between. She doesn't lukewarm like anybody. It's either, oh, I love Kevin and Jess, or oh, I hate fucking beep 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 beep. There's no lukewarm. Okay, but I got a real pressing question, and I want to ask this one specifically for the step parents.
Okay.
And I want you to be no, I want you to
Putting
be
on
involved
earmuffs.
too. Who's your favorite kid?
The cursed question.
I want to see how you guys answer this. Brandon, who's your favorite kid?
Oof. I don't want to say favorite because that's really
Do you want me to answer first to set
a
the
bad connotation, but I would have to say it's Jade because I get to have that more adult relation.
Oh my
like
God, you actually said a
one-on-one
kid's name?
relationship. Yeah, I did.
You're putting you on blast.
Yeah. No, I love Logan, and he and I have a great relationship, but between the two of them, like he's still a kid and still is developing mentally. And one of the I was struggling real hard early in my relationship with Melanie, trying to develop that relationship with him. And I got some of the best advice that I try to keep in mind every now and then when I'm struggling with Logan, which is his brain is still developing. So it's like dealing with a drunk person. You wouldn't expect a drunk person to interact with you at the same level as like a normal sober adult. So why would you expect this child to? They're, there's you don't have that expectation on them. And so I remind myself of that every now and then of this, I can't have that expectation to treat him like I would an adult or like a fully developed person because he's a kid, and I have to remind myself of that sometimes.
I made fun of you initially, but I think that's a really good answer because you specifically being a stepfather would connect with somebody that's older and somebody that could understand your logic. Not saying that you love any one of them less. So my answer for this is going to be, and I'll give my answer first, Kevin, if you're okay with that. But my answer is going to be, it really depends on the day. My mom would always tell me, I don't have a favorite. I love you both equally. That's such a load of shit. Mom, if you're watching, switch to my camera really quick. Okay, good. Mom, if you're watching, I know that was bullshit.
Yeah.
I know
it's a slider
that it was
bar
bullshit.
at best.
I 100% have a favorite kid. It really depends on the day. There are days where I connect with my youngest, and it's fucking like this last weekend. We went on a daddy-daughter date, and we went to fucking see Puss in Boots, and we just connected on that different level, right? But then my oldest stepson, which is our oldest, will come in and tell me about his girlfriend that he won't tell his mom about. He connects with me on that level that he wants to talk to me about girl issues, and and becoming a man issues, and I just feel so much love and so much appreciation and having those conversations. It really depends on the day. Which one I love the most depends on which one's the least amount of asshole that day.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, okay. I guess to rephrase my answer a little bit, I'm not going to say I love one more than the other. I love both of them.
Oh
and
yeah, absolutely.
very much.
Yeah.
The word love is a little different in this context. Go ahead. I'll go after you.
A phrase I've always been fond of is unconditional love doesn't mean unconditional like.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have like that closer relationship with Jade because again, she's a little older. I've known connected with her sooner and in different ways than I have with Logan. So, and
it gets to be more fun the more shit that they can do, right? Like I loved having a 2-3-year-old. They're fun, but I also like having a 12-year-old that's going on 13 that I can actually go do shit with that I like to do and that I'm not staring at fucking Sesame Street or Barney. You know what I mean?
Or you're arguing with them to go. It's like, hey, I want to go to the sit down restaurant. Well, I don't like the food there, or this or that or whatever. But
so I'm gonna say for my answer, because I think that the word love is wrong in this way.
Okay.
Because you do not love one kid over the other if you love them.
I said, which kid is your favorite?
Oh, favorite. Okay. I thought you were saying which kid you love more.
No, I love my kids all
okay.
equally.
In that case, okay, I was gonna say, because I was like, okay, if we're saying love, which kid would you like unbuckle the train car and send on their way?
You have a Sophie's choice. Which one?
Yeah, or hanging
I
from
have one of those too. It's serious. I'm gonna fucking send you the fuck out of here.
Which one is your favorite? And it really is the times you spend, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no time that I think, because there's some days where I'm like, oh man, I got a preteen at home and she's driving me nuts. But then there's days where like her and I just fucking connect and play video games together, and we go do shit together, and we can talk about like stuff we're interested in because we align so much. And then with my youngest, she is just a ball of funny all the time. She is hilarious all the time. The shit that she comes up with. She's the
girl who makes Melanie cry.
She's the like, so on most days, but then I'm like, you're driving me nuts. You're at that age, so it's like you said, it's the day.
Evie and Avery are each other's spirit animals.
Yeah.
Those two girls were made for each other.
Yeah.
They never shut up. They have all the energy that I wish I had.
Mm-hmm.
I am convinced that they are going to do an 8-term presidency. It's going to be, or no, was 16-year presidency.
They're an alternate between each other.
2 is going to be Avery, 2 is going to be Evie, and they're going to be each other's vice presidents. Those girls are going to run the world. It is scary.
I think so, because she's in preschool right now, and she, her teacher says she's the one that the kids look to for guidance and stuff. Like she's the one that teaches she knows how to do so much stuff, and so some kids that fall behind, she'll help them. Or they're like, oh, let's put you with Evie because Evie will help you and show you how to do the thing that you're supposed to do. She's brilliant. And then my oldest daughter, also incredibly brilliant. They're both hitting these various stages. So I think if they were exactly the same age, I would be I can't answer it because they're exactly. But I have and it's all about connections too. So I have. Man, I really connected with Claire today. I really but I really connected with my kid, my older. I really connected with my younger today. And that's just parenting. That's just parenting in a nutshell. Is just you make those connections, you hold on to them, and you think about them, and you remember them. I'll never forget the first time when my oldest, she was 5 or 6, maybe, and we together sat down and we played Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and we beat it together. And that is her favorite game of all time. She will not stop talking about when Breath of the Wild 2 or Tears of the Kingdom now was delayed. She cried. Yeah. She had a breakdown that night, and she's like, "I've been waiting for 3 years for that game to come out." Her and I have that.
That's a quarter of her life, though. You
deep
have to,
connection.
Yeah.
It is taken up a huge part of her life, and we have a huge deep connection with that game, and many other things, but. But with my youngest, I have a different connection with other things, we both sit down, we'll watch Paddington 2 and have a blast. And my other kid's just like, whatever, preteen, whatever. Actually, she likes Paddington 2 too.
So I quick story here. When we recorded the trailer for this season, and you know that I love your kids.
Mhm.
This is going to sound really creepy, but I make sure that I give them hugs before they leave. Evie, your youngest, would not even come in the same room as me when we started the Doom Vision podcast.
Yep, that's true.
Not even come in the room.
Yeah.
And now she's all about me, hanging out with me. We were getting prepped, and she was sitting next to me,
Mhm.
and I asked to use her in this. But Claire sat right here
Mhm.
the entire time we filmed until we told her she could shoot a Nerf gun
Yep,
In
shoot a
this
Nerf gun
corner.
at me.
at you.
Yeah,
She sat right here in this corner the entire time.
yeah. And Evie, we gave her a job, and then she was like, "I'm tired. I don't want to do that anymore." And so she just bounced on to the next thing. And the next thing I know, she's behind everybody, behind the camera with headphones on, and she's going, like nodding at me with thumbs up.
Yeah, she asked me if she could listen, and I'm like, yeah, you can listen. So I put the headphones on her, and
Perfect. That's
Yeah.
exactly what she wants. She wants to be a part of the shit. She wants to fix stuff. Every time I'm fixing something, even if it's like dangerous, she's like, "Can I fix the saw blade too, Dad?"
Yeah, you guys
Fine.
came over and helped us paint our house, and
Yeah.
I spent like a good hour and a half in a room with Evie as she was painting a wall, and she did better than some of the teenagers.
She
you know?
she is
She
she's
did awesome.
hardworking when she likes the work.
Yeah, she's
She's really really.
I had a
is.
blast working with her. It was
D-
great.
Does she knowledge check you yet?
What do you mean? Probably, but
So
yeah.
like Avery will come home, and I know we got to get to our game because I got my time warning, but Avery will come home and like ask me a math question just to see if I know it. Be like, what's 3x times 9 to the 15th power, Dad? And I'll be like, I don't know. I don't have a calculator. She'll be like, well, it's blah, 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 blah. Not that extreme, obviously, but
Yes, she does. Even if she's wrong. Even if she's
Yeah.
dead wrong. I remember.
Logan will do that, but with like Pokemon, because
Oh,
he
yeah.
asked me like, why was Gengar a poison or a ghost and poison type? And I'm like, well, he wasn't a dual type in the first games because Red and Blue they only had single types.
wait,
I was very wrong.
he wasn't a poison type in the first game.
That's what I said too until Logan showed me I was wrong. He pulled it right up on Google and I was like, huh, looky there.
No.
You know more than me.
He's only ever been ghost type.
No.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, man, I don't argue with Logan about Pokemon stuff anymore.
Well, one example of my youngest doing a fact check when she's wrong or whatever.
Mhm.
It was just me, my oldest and my youngest in the car, and they were arguing. I was barely paying attention because I was driving, and they were arguing, and Evie goes, "I can see through walls," and my oldest goes, "You cannot see through walls." Dad, tell her she can't see through walls, and I go, "No, humans can't see through walls." And she goes, and then Evie from the back seat chimes in and says, guys, that is not correct. She didn't say, no, that's not wrong. Blah, blah, blah. She said, that is not correct. Like, I can see through walls and you guys are dumb. And so she was just very matter of factly like, humans can see through walls. Shut up. Very funny. Because she was younger than now. She was like 4, she's 5 now. Just turned 5. Still in preschool. But yeah, so smart. Those psycho kids.
Yeah, those kids are something else. Okay. We've talked about our kids a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Pretty good for
the daddiest dad
yeah.
podcast we've had. Our first episode
We
was all
have-
about UFOs. We didn't
we
do
have really
a
struggled
single
with-
word about dads.
Well, it's shit dads like, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We'll have a whole episode about grilling that has nothing to do with parenting, but
Yeah.
I think with Brandon on the show, it was appropriate to talk about the differences in
Absolutely.
Yeah.
a traditional family, just being a step parent and being a blended family. But with this show, we always have a little something extra. And so we're going to play a game. It's going to be a simple game today. We all have girls and well, we all have kids, obviously, because that's why we're on the show. And so we all have seen an abundance of Disney movies. So the goal today is to name as many Disney songs as we can possibly do. And the winner gets a pat on the back and
A pat on the front.
Now, do we have to know the actual name, or can we just like remember part of the song and be like, "Oh yeah, it's
That's
that one
was
that goes
my
like
next
this"?
question.
I think if we can get close enough to it,
Yeah.
I-
Okay.
I think-
I'll be okay then.
I think
Yeah.
if
Otherwise, it's gonna be like one round, and we're all gonna be like, "Oh."
Yeah, because nobody knows the titles. They just know all the songs.
So I'll go first on this, but the first one I'm gonna do is the Circle of Life. But if I went,
We're gonna have to bleep that whole thing though.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Disney is crazy.
Yeah, they are crazy. But like, I think if you can get close, or you could be like the one that's like, the one that was da 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 da.
Mhm.
I think that's close enough.
And 3 hours later, we're still naming Disney songs.
I don't think we're gonna get there. I think
All
I
right,
have
no.
10,
No,
maybe
yeah.
15,
Yeah, I think
if I'm lucky.
I think so. All right.
So I'll go the Circle of Life, then we'll go clockwise to Brandon.
Oh, okay. The Hakuna Matata.
Okay.
Stick with that same movie.
We'll go with You're Welcome, like Moana.
The hair, the bod.
Side note, both my kids have movies that they were obsessed with and they watched 1,000 times. Evie's was Moana, Claire's was Brave.
Ooh,
I've never seen Brave.
Brave's hilarious.
My
Billy
wife tells
Connolly.
me that all the
Those
time.
three-
Billy Connolly
the-
in that?
The three little boys,
Yeah.
the triplets, they were great.
Yeah, I love Billy Connolly, so he was great in
Hamish,
that.
Hubert, and Hallis.
There you go. Yeah.
Nice.
Even since Kevin broke our theme, I'll do Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
There you go. Let It Go.
Snow
Classic
Goes White.
Frozen. Yeah.
Into the Unknown. It's from 2. Frozen 2.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know the song. Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I'll back you up, Kevin.
Frozen 2 better than Frozen 1. I'll go there.
All right. Magic Carpet Ride.
Ooh, there you go. We don't talk about Bruno.
Ooh, okay.
Little Canto thrown in.
I own the soundtrack to that movie, by the way. So there's a song on there called Two Oruguitas or something like that. I know that. It's on my phone. Evie made me download it.
Good enough. Kevin,
Yep.
you got a friend in me.
Ooh.
Story
Story.
about friendship.
There you go. There you go. A Magic Carpet Ride. Going back to Aladdin.
Why did I think we said that one already? Did we not?
Which
Roll the tape back. Did we say that already?
I think I said that one. Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
And
here
you're
anymore.
out.
Am I out? Oh,
You're
I don't know.
out.
All right.
I thought he was gonna be the contender.
No, man, not only do I have to remember a new song, I have to remember what you two said as well.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
That means I have to listen to what you're saying.
I
I don't want
know.
to do that.
I
All
know.
right.
All
Give
right.
him another chance. Let him think of another
He's the
one.
guest. We'll give him a
Oh.
bye.
Oh,
All right.
jeez. Oh, now
But
I'm,
But you
now
have
I'm
to come
gonna
up with one in 10 seconds.
now I'm gonna brain fart super hard.
5 seconds.
Never had a friend like me. We'll stick with Aladdin.
I don't know if we said this one yet. Under the sea. Under the sea.
I was right there. I was going
Everything's better down where it's wetter.
there. Oh goodness. Whistle while you work. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. That was a stretch. I'm getting to the end of my bucket here.
Oh man, I'm all like thrown and frazzled by the fact that I have to remember what you guys have said too. So I'm like, oh jeez. Yeah, I'm brain farting. I don't know why you guys gave me the buy-in back last turn. I'm out. I'm brain farting super hard.
Okay.
Oh, boy. What's that song?
You're supposed to tell us that, Kevin.
I know. Just can't wait to be king.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh, bring it back to Lion King.
Lion King.
This one's gonna make you a little upset. But Beauty and the Beast. The scene where they're dancing, and Belle has her yellow dress. Beauty and the Beast.
Did you ever see that meme that was like, what if Belle never showed up and it was just her dad? It would be called Beauty and Maurice.
Oh my god, I just thought of another one. This is awesome.
Okay, let's see. So let us go with the song that is on my mind.
Which is TikTok, TikTok.
I need a movie that I can think of.
Do not give any hints.
Peter Pan.
God damn it.
No.
Hercules.
Oh boy.
You need a timer.
What is that song? Oh, okay. Disney
Up.
movies. That.
Jungle Book.
You know I own. Oh. The bare necessities. I got hinted out so much.
10 minutes later. Are you going to give me those type of hints?
Sure.
If you
I
need
want to let you all know what I just did to Kevin is the same thing that you can do to most of the Peterson family, where they're in the middle of thinking of something and you say anything and it restarts their thoughts.
Yep.
I've gotten Melanie trapped for like half an hour trying to say a single sentence as I just keep interrupting her or saying something and just keep resetting her brain. It's great. Once you know about it, it's fun to play with.
I have the Pokemon theme song stuck in my head.
That's not Disney though.
I got songs.
What is Brandon on this show? What is he?
Oh, be our guest.
There you go.
Beauty and the Beast.
That's a good hint.
Thank you.
The song on Little Mermaid where she goes, "I want to be where the people are." Wait, is that on Little? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that called?
Part of your world.
Part of Your
Part
World.
of Your
That's
World.
it. I had the
No,
title.
you sang some words.
I know. I had the title, and then you guys said the words, and I lost the title, and then I only had the words left. So
For Mulan, I'll make a man out of you.
There you go. That's a good one.
yeah, that's good.
Quit giving him hints.
She's just making duck face at me. I don't know what's happening.
Mermaid? Have you seen The Little Mermaid?
Well, yeah, I just did a
Two
song.
of his songs have been The Little Mermaid.
101 Dalmatians.
I don't remember any songs from that movie.
I know.
All right,
I'm just
all right.
naming Disney
All
songs.
right,
at
give
this
me a
point.
time limit. If I can't come up with it in that time,
30
then I lose.
seconds.
Okay, all right.
Go. But I have to answer with the song to make it fair.
By the way, 101 Dalmatians does have a very notable main character
15.
themed song.
Yes.
I can only think of "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" right now, which is not even a movie. There's not even a Disney movie.
That
5.
definitely was a movie.
That
Time.
one from Brave, where she's like, she goes,
You're past your
I
time.
lost.
Okay.
Troy wins.
Well, I have to
If he
answer. I
answers.
have to answer with the song.
Okay.
And the song is Zero to Hero from Hercules.
There you go.
Oh, you know what?
Do you want to know why I was doing kissy lips at you?
I was confused.
Little Mermaid. Kiss the girl when they're on the boat.
Don't you
Oh,
wanna
good one.
Kiss the girl. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Big Hero 6?
I have.
Yes.
It's been a long time.
There was a song by Fall Out Boy on that called "We Can Be Heroes."
Immortals.
Immortals. That's it.
Immortals was in that song?
Immortals, yeah. Was
Really?
I'm
like
pretty
the main
sure
song of
that
Big
came.
Hero
That
6.
song came out with that movie.
Yeah, it was like part of it.
Yeah. Like
Like-
that movie was the premiere for that song.
Oh.
No, I could be wrong. I'm not a music expert by any means.
Did we miss any other notable songs?
Oh,
Many.
fucking the wind one from Pocahontas.
Colors of the Wind.
Colors of the Wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys missed a really big.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
There's another one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you missed a
Ooh.
really big Lion King one with Scar.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hold on. He's with the hyenas.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
When they were goose stepping through the dark lands.
You ready?
be afraid. Or be
Yeah.
prepared. Be prepared.
prepared.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Be prepared.
Words are hard.
Give me another hint.
Cruella de Vil.
Oh,
yeah, that's it.
Cruella de
Yeah.
Vil.
Relativeville.
Give us hints so we see if we can figure them out.
There's another big one from Beauty and the Beast with the antihero.
Gaston.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah.
Yeah,
No
Gaston.
one that like Gaston.
I'm scrolling here. There's another one from Little Mermaid with the antihero.
Ursula. What does she sing?
Oh yeah.
It's with the eels. It's really green. I remember that.
Poor unfortunate
Oh, yeah.
souls.
There it is.
Oh.
Poor
I never
unfortunate
got that
souls.
one.
Tangled, one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
What's the song?
Frying pans. Who knew?
The one
Yeah.
that's when will my life begin?
When
That's it.
will my life begin?
That's it.
There
right
it is.
there.
I brush and brush and brush and brush
brush my
my
hair.
hair. Yeah.
And then there's another big one from Mulan that you missed.
Okay, so I'll make a man out of you.
Her song.
Something about like the color of
No, it's
She's looking in the water at her.
my reflection.
my reflection. Yeah.
My
There you go.
reflection.
Ah, damn.
Those are a lot of the big ones that I.
Yeah.
Oh, another Lion King one.
Another Lion King one.
Elton John.
Can you feel?
I said
love
can
tonight?
you
Oh.
feel the leave tonight?
Did you?
Yep.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
What's the one where they're walking on the?
Hakuna Matata?
Hakuna Matata.
Oh,
man.
did we
That's
talk
one
about that
said.
one already?
I just can't wait to be king.
Right. Oh, I said that.
He
Yeah.
said that.
He-
And
Okay.
then I think Brandon
we did Lion King
Hakuna
pretty well.
Matata.
I
Yeah.
started with Hakuna Matata.
I was
Started with
trying-
Circle of Life.
At one point, I was wasting my time trying to think of Hakuna Matata, which was stupid because you already said it.
I want to
should've
see.
lost.
See, that's why that part of it was really hard.
Yeah.
And then you got the Jungle Book with the orangutans.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was
I want to be like you.
I Want to Be Like You?
Yeah.
Yep, that's a good
want to
one.
be like you.
We should play this with John. I think he knows a lot of Disney songs too.
I want to walk like you, talk like you.
All right.
A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go
I would
down.
have never got that.
Yeah.
Mary Poppins?
Yeah, any of the live action stuff, I never would have thought of that
No.
to even start trying to remember a song from it.
You know what a good movie was? The new Mary Poppins movie. That was a
Was
good
it?
movie with Emily Blunt.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
Emily
That
Blunt.
was really good. I don't know. I'm into like feel good movies. That's why I will die on the hill of Paddington 1 and 2 being like one of my favorite movies of all time.
You have talked about those ad nauseum today.
Yeah.
Dad
Dad nauseum because you've never watched it. Nobody I know has watched it. I tried to get Melly to watch it, and she's like, you know what? I sat down and I saw a preview for it, and I said, you know what? Kevin said to watch it, and then I ended up watching stupid shit and not Paddington. I was like, you want to feel good about yourself? Watch Paddington 1 and 2 back to back.
That's the
I watch it
bear,
every
isn't
couple months.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, the title is Paddington Bear.
Yeah.
So,
Love it.
Yeah,
Well-
it does involve a bear.
That was a fun game. I liked it. Thank you, Jess, for
Yeah, thank you so much.
DJing, VJing, or MCing. There it is.
VJing.
That's from the old
keep-
MTV.
Oh.
Yeah, I had VJs.
I thought it was something else.
And Brandon, thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with us for a little bit today.
Yeah, this was super fun. I'm glad you had me.
Watch Paddington.
Watch Paddington. If you don't learn anything from this podcast, learn that you need to go watch Paddington Bear.
I'm
Not just one, but two as well.
I cannot donate 3 hours of my life to a bear in a raincoat.
You know what?
You've
You're-
donated
when-
your time for less than that.
You're gonna think about me when you're having a rough day. You're gonna be like, I had the shittiest day. What did Kevin once say? Oh, I should go watch Paddington. You're gonna watch it, and you're gonna call me, and you're gonna go, you're fucking right. You were so right, Kevin. And I'm gonna be like, I fucking told you so. I'm gonna talk like Liam Neeson for some reason.
Okay.
So I got a question for you.
Okay.
I got a question for you. What did one butt cheek say to the other? Together, we can stop this shit. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.